First tonight, a
Crime Network
exclusive.
A Baldwin County man is accused of killing his parents. Take a look at your screen. This is Trenell Brown. Baldwin County deputies say he shot his parents this afternoon in a Spanish Fort neighborhood. WKRG News 5's Shamani Baker went out to the scene this afternoon. You're here in the studio tonight, Shamani. It's been a very difficult day for friends and family members.
It has, Dana. Now, when we got to the house, family and friends of the victims were also just getting there. They didn't want to be on camera and they seemed pretty shaken up. The sheriff's office got reports about a shooting on McFarland Road in the Churchill neighborhood around 1:30 Saturday afternoon. Once there, deputies found two people dead inside a white trailer home. Deputies say Trenell Brown went to his parents' house and confronted them about an ongoing family argument. During that argument, deputies say Brown shot his mother and father to death. The sheriff's office reports after the shooting, Trenell left the house and told people he killed his parents. We spoke to a neighbor who says she was outside when she heard loud pops, but that she didn't think much of it because her neighbors would sometimes shoot their guns for fun. Trenell is now in the Baldwin County Jail facing 2 murder charges.
Crime Network
exclusive.
Jermaine Williams tells me she got a phone call very early last Friday, and on the other line was her oldest son telling her that he'd killed his younger brother. In that moment, as you might imagine, her entire world was changed forever. But despite that tragedy, she and her husband are spreading a message of hope, of love, and forgiveness.
I just want to encourage somebody out there, whatever you're going through, don't let it be too late to apologize, to make it right, and forgive.
That's all they want for their eldest son, despite the heartbreak that he caused, even though he's accused of killing his younger brother, 18-year-old Jermaine Williams.
This is hurting us because we didn't just lose one son. We lost 2.
Family says the brothers had been staying with another relative in Detroit in the 2000 block of Prince Hall Drive. The preliminary info police gave me is this. Last Friday around 6:30 a.m., they got a call from the 22-year-old suspect about what happened. They tell me it looks like there was an argument and a struggle over a gun, and Jermaine may have had a knife when he was shot. Police arrested Jermaine's older brother, but he's been released, pending charges.
We don't know what happened that day, but we just ask that God have mercy.
Latricia says Jermaine had a bright future. He had plans to write a book on dealing with mental health. He wanted to go to college and was a standout football player. Brick by Brick Strength and Conditioning Company, his brainchild to share the love of the game.
Jermaine did not just play the game, he loved the game.
He was a teacher.
He was a teacher. Anyone that came onto the team that was a rookie or didn't know the game, he trained them.
And now they're left asking why. Why did this happen? How could it happen? While police continue to investigate.
We were great parents. We did everything we could. We raised them up in the fear of the Lord.
This is a feeling I don't want any mother to ever have to feel. My heart is aching. Our hearts are aching. No words can explain, really, how we really feel.
And police tell me they submitted a warrant package to the prosecutor's office, and now they're submitting additional information after it was returned to them. Now, no word on when charges could be levied against Jermaine's brother. The family tells me, though, that they trust the legal system and they're just going to wait here for an outcome.
Crime Network
exclusive.
Deputies say a mother kissed her kids goodnight and just seconds later heard gunshots. Officials say the father shot them, killing one of them. When deputies arrived, he told them it was an accident.
Hillsborough County Sheriff Chad Chronister says it all happened at the Armature Gate townhomes in North Tampa late Monday evening. He said around 10:30, a mother returned home to say goodnight to her 2 children, a 5-year-old little girl and an 8-year-old little boy. He said she kissed them both goodnight and went to use the bathroom. That's when she heard gunshots ring out. She told detectives the gunshots sounded close, so she ran outside to figure out what was going on. Her neighbor had already called 911. That's when her husband ran outside holding their 8-year-old son in his arms, telling them to call for help. When law enforcement arrived on scene, the little boy was transported to Tampa General Hospital. They asked the father if anyone else was inside. That's when they also found the 5-year-old little girl.
The husband says my 5-year-old daughter's upstairs sleeping. Deputies go upstairs only to make the gruesome discovery that there's a 5-year-old laying in a top bunk, laying in a pool of her own blood. She is shot 2 to 3 times in her head.
Now, both children were shot in the head 2 to 3 times. The father, Jermaine LaVonda Bass, offering no explanation except saying that he had accidentally shot his son. He's currently facing several charges, including first-degree murder and attempted first-degree murder. Sheriff Chronister says HCSO had never been called out to this address in the past, and Bass had no prior criminal history. Now, as for that 8-year-old little boy, we're told he underwent surgery last night after arriving at the hospital. Like I said, he had been shot 2 to 3 times in the head, and today he's still fighting for his life in critical condition. We'll keep you updated.
A disturbing case of a father accused of shooting his own children. His 5-year-old daughter did not survive, and his 8-year-old son is improving, but still in intensive care.
We learned in court today that 8-year-old Jermaine Bass has been upgraded from critical to stable condition, but still has a bullet lodged in his skull. His father, also named Jermaine Bass, did not appear for today's hearing, while prosecutors argued he should be held without bond.
There's no reason for this man to execute and attempt to execute his children. And that, again, supports the state's argument this is an individual who was too unpredictable and too dangerous to walk the streets of Hillsborough County.
Detectives testified that Bass has claimed the shooting was an accident, but that evidence at the crime scene says otherwise.
If Mr. Bass's statement to you all is that it was accidental, what were you all relying on as far as charging him with premeditated murder?
The fact that the accident doesn't explain 5 rounds being fired into 2 different children that are on 2 different bunks.
And while the judge agreed that the evidence against Bass is substantial, she took State Attorney Ron Gale to task over a misrepresentation made in his petition to hold Bass without bond.
Don't put that in a motion if you're not going to prove it. It's disingenuous.
With no prior record, Judge Catherine Catlin ruled she could not deny bail.
I'm finding that the state has not met its burden. As much as I realize everybody will be shocked by that, I want it clear that I follow the law.
We also learned today that Bass's wife and the children's mother hasn't exactly been forthcoming with detectives. Homicide detectives say Shirley Bass has refused to allow them to see her phone.
She said her phone was with a friend because they were pulling photos from it to prepare for Jayla's funeral, that she would give me the phone the next day, which was yesterday, 9/1/2022. When I asked her for that phone yesterday, she said she didn't have it. It was with her attorney.
Shirley Bass was in the home when her children were shot, but detectives say she insists nothing was wrong that day, and she claims she's not sure her husband actually shot their children. And though 8-year-old Jermaine Bass has regained consciousness, detectives have not yet had a chance to interview the boy about what happened to him and his sister on Monday night.
Thank you for watching Prime Crime Network, your source for urban and suburban and around the world news. Hit the subscribe, like, and the notification bell. And check us out on PrimeCrimeNetwork.com.